I'm very passionate about Zambia. A number of you may have already known me, but briefly to introduce myself, I went to Zambia as a second generation business graduate with a job. I was headhunted by the owner and chairman of Finance Bank Zambia Limited way back many years back. My name was recommended by him, and he wanted his bank, which was then fairly new, to expand to South Africa, Zimbabwe, and open up a number of branches. So somebody recommended that please go and see one gentleman in London. So that's how I came about Zambia. But I'm second generation because my elder brother, who was then a UK chartered accountant, was also similarly headhunted by late President and the founder, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda's government, and he was the financial controller of then Indico. So that was quite a significant post. So I am the second generation, and I call it a second home because I took my family back in 1992 when I joined the finance bank. At that time, Zambia was much different than what it was today. And I must say, till today, I'm very passionate about Zambia. Though I'm in London, but I promote and I advise a number of companies and also individuals who have flourished. The people who work with me in the bank, some of them are managing directors, and it gives me great happiness. Talking about, say, network, I have known Sean, one of the organizers, who very kindly invited me. And despite having commitments, which we all do, I said, no, Zambia comes first. We will go and make my presence. Well, in that connection, I must say, I was the last speaker, but I've been promoted today right now. So that's a joy too. So I thank the promoters and the organizers, like Eunice, Lindsay, Joe, and Sean. You've done a commendable job, commendable. And I think networking is very important. I still network. If you see me in LinkedIn, you will see possibly I have a very chosen members, about 1,000 people, and I select them because time is so important. I learn from them, and they also take my experience. And a number of them are Zambians, because as I said, I love Zambia, and I've enriched myself in the many years that I spent in Zambia. I've enriched myself, my family, so we owe to Zambia. So I want to give back. So network is very important. The people who are here, you made effort to come. Please build up this network. Like I came in today, in a short time, I learned how one of the Zambians here, and I see an entrepreneurship in him, he was telling me, working here, but side by side on his extra time, he's building up business in Zambia. And the business he's building up is wonderful. A concept which we all see here is a breakdown recovery service. It's a great service. So I've learned from him how he's doing it over there, and I can see a great possibility for his success in that country. Similarly, there are many, if you talk of, like many of you might be thinking, what can we do? Well, let me tell you in short, the sky's the limit. Zambia offers to Zambian, especially under this leadership, the greatest opportunity ever. It's a country which you must know is undertapped, untapped, and it's highly untapped, whether it's the manpower or the natural resources or simply the opportunity. Of late, I can tell you one of mine, I don't say customers because I don't charge anything, I just share my experience with people who have successfully built up a new bakery and cake making facility in Lusaka. So before I came, I checked up yesterday. He said he was smiling. So that's a great entrepreneurship. I had employed one or two people who does part-time work for me in Zambia. So one of them, I gave him just a little donation, and he gathered from his brother who's working in Australia somewhere. And he told me now he has got 500 goats. So that's not a small achievement. You know, it's a happiness small is beautiful. Everything small then grows big. So we must realize that while we want to do business, we capture an opportunity and we must have the patience to see it grow. And also one most important thing if you do business is to fulfill your commitment. I have been in banking in Zambia. As I mentioned, I joined Finance Bank, then I was CEO of African Commercial Bank. Then I was hired by one of the greatest entrepreneur businessmen of that country. Some of you may know. His name is Musa Stanley Siame. And some of you and your parents will know he was one of the very big employers in that country. In the 80s, in the 90s, and up to 2000, year 2000 when I left him. He's still around and we're still friends. So Zambian entrepreneurship, the people that you have, and most of the ladies I've seen are entrepreneurs in Zambia, you can enrich yourself. Zambians are not tapped fully. But the environment, especially under this president, is excellent. And also there is a great support from the international community. You have probably seen a number of the countries who have bilateral arrangements, including India, have placed funds, which is Import-Export Credit Fund. So if any of you need any advice on the finance, on banking, on business, please feel free, you can contact me. I'll be very pleased to share my experience and guide you. But let me tell you modestly, the people that who know me and who are successful, far too big to give you a name and list right now, they've all been successful. And they're constantly speaking to me. But one thing I teach them, they have the discipline to make money and return it. And I will put you to the right people who will lend you money. So money is plenty. Whether it's Zambia or outside, even in London, money is floating. And we as bankers don't know who to give it to. But we want to give it to people who will give it back and who will make money for themselves. If you don't have the right intention, don't waste your time. It's not, business is not for you, go for a job. But I tell you, Zambians are entrepreneurs. Zambian women, they are great entrepreneurs. So now you may ask, what kind of business? Yes, the whole range is open across the economy. You find yourself. And today, it is so simple that I don't have to tell you anything. Just Google. I've seen the trade development of the High Commission has laid down every damn thing that I would speak to you. It's so beautifully, so clearly, and so simple that you can read and understand and implement. So, if you ask me any questions, I will invite you. I would also like you to know how, it's important to know how other people have grown. See, for example, what's happening in Kenya, how the Kenyans have made it a hub. Zambia can be not just a hub, it can be the food tank of Sub-Saharan. So rich is the soil, so rich is the climate, and so good is your leadership. And more importantly, the people. I think, having traveled the whole of Africa, Zambia has the best people in the continent. Yeah. What is not best in Zambia? Nothing. I'm giving 2 minutes. I can speak to you 2 hours. Okay, thank you, but I will be very quick. But let me tell you another thing, which is very inspiring. When I first went to Zambia, I had a blooming job in Kenya. And modestly speaking, it was given to me by the then president, Mr. Jomo Kenyatta's son, who was president lately. What's his name? Somebody. Kenyatta. Oro was a young, slim man. He needed them. He escaped from America. Somebody again gave his name. He called me to Kenya. He owned, I didn't know it. He owned Commercial Bank of Kenya. He gave me a job. That you replace my MD. You first come in as a deputy for 6 months, then take up. At the same time, there was a little civil commotion, so my wife felt very uncomfortable with small children. And at the same time, I was called into Zambia. As I said, Dr. Matani had already interviewed in London. When I went to Zambia, the first thing which I will never forget, I entered the airport, which is your old airport. I put my British passport, and the Zambian immigration officer looked at me and I said, "Sir, what brings you here?" laughing for this. I said, I've come to see opportunities in Zambia. And he said, sir, you're welcome. But let me tell you, Zambia is wide open. You are most welcome. There is room for everybody. I was very, very touched. That what generous spirit. Can you see that? Then I said, I must find a job here. But of course, I took up a job there. So let me tell you, as I said, Zambians are the best people in the continent. Truly, it's from the heart. And after having seen the continent, and not just the best people, you have also a Zambia, which has the seventh wonder of the world, the Victoria Falls. You are the jewel and emerald of Africa. So, what more to say about Zambia? Zambia people, whether British, European, today Chinese, all over the world, people are looking at Zambia to invest. So there is a very clear opportunity for partnership. And partnership is important because we in Zambia need technical service. We need some expertise. We need cash to come in. So that's important.